GM. We are live. My plan was to join and say how many people were waiting for a Dog Bowl qualifier. We're not waiting for anybody. This Dog Bowl qualifier instantly fired. I'm in the 12 hole. No countdown today. Just figured I'd ape right in. Got some feedback. Some people didn't like the countdown. We'll see. We'll see if we just come on. Sometimes I find it a little bit jarring if all of a sudden you're hanging out there and a wild streamer appears. But let me know. We can bring that back if the people do like the stock. If they like the stock StreamYard countdown, one day if we make it big, maybe we'll get some kind of intro video. But until then, we're rocking and rolling. Ant X-Ball, he had +3 for a double reverse. I think this was 29 minutes ago. So Ant X-Ball, I really hope your double reverse fired. I'm in the one hole of this Dog Bowl, and I'm just going to take CMC. He has now flipped everybody. He's flipped Chase, who was the 101 in these when the contest had first dropped. So that's not too surprising. Let me catch up with chat, and then we can talk a little bit about last night, a little bit about this draft. GM Chris Burkle, thanks so much for coming in, hanging out. I agree. That Reed injury was a big bummer. I mean, yeah, that's what I'll say on that. That sucks. I had a fairly big fade on Reed, and I'm not victory lapping. It sucks. I hate when people get hurt. I don't want to be right because someone got injured. It's not fun. It sucks when the game is bad, and who knows what butterfly effects these things have. So it sucks that Reed got hurt. It sucks that Eckler got hurt really big. A couple very fantasy relevant injuries happened, and that was really unfortunate. Really like Austin Eckler. Just always seemed like a good dude. Just, he was out there grinding to the end in a game that was lost. Looks like an Achilles tear. I don't know if they've officially said it, but I think it's pretty much all but certain that he's done for the year. Possibly, he's a bit older. We'll see if this is like career ending. I'm sure he'll try to come back. To me, he's not the kind of guy that's going to want to go out like that. I'm sure he'll give it a go, but it really sucks. It really sucks. Joel says, GMs, go Pack, go. I said I was going to place my Packers Super Bowl wager before the game. I forgot, and I think I got it in even worse. But I think the Packers look damn good. If I had to pick a Super Bowl winner, overreact after 2 weeks. But it also confirms a lot of priors. I thought the Packers were going to be good, and I drafted accordingly. Have a fair amount of love. Have a lot of Kraft. Kraft, one of my biggest. He's my highest exposed tight end in post-draft contests, so that's looking pretty good right now. Packers are looking good. Having $15 worth of Dontavian Wicks, not good. Dontavian Wicks highly involved. I think the Reed injury, it's a crowded wide receiver room, but taking out, arguably their wide receiver one, you could, if you could call Reed whatever he was, but he was a very involved player, very important player to them, and now he is out. So, yeah, Reed, Eckler, tough night all around. Yeah, Joel, I am with you there. Dirty P's ready to punt what we're drafting again. I was going to hop in and say how many people we were waiting for, and I made lucky number 12. Greg says, GM gang. Hey, Greg, thanks for coming out. We'll see. We'll see how our Dolphins do this. We see how our Dolphins do this weekend. Give me 1 second. I missed you too. My wife is flying home, so she's boarding the plane as I was going live, so I did not want to not say good morning to her as I say good morning to all of you. Greg says 6 likes already. Hey, Best Ball on Call, 6 likes. That's great. Thank you so much. Appreciate all the likes. You guys, y'all have been so supportive and thanks. And this is so fun. And Best Ball on Call, thank you again. Appreciate you and reminding everyone to hit the like. Yeah, the Eckler injury is even worse. It's horrible. And yet Tiger Uppercut noting, so in the Matic Discord, that's usually where you can find me hanging out. They have a athletic training channel, and I mentioned at literally 30 minutes before Eckler tore his Achilles that my Achilles was sore. It is weirdly sore. I don't know what's going on. I don't do a lot of running. I'm actually probably should do a lot more cardio. I do a lot more lifting, and it's been weirdly sore. Started being sore yesterday. I don't know if it was just sympathy pain with Eckler, but it's feeling the same today. I'm so nervous that I'm just gonna be walking around the house and something bad's gonna happen. But Hopefully not. I'm definitely not going to take up running this week. Let me pull up the board of this dog bowl. I should have had this up before. Best Ball Viper getting a little loose here in the 12 hole. He goes Connor BTJ. Very interesting to see that. Lamar Jackson all the way to 15 to Mathology. That's a nice combo for him. McBride, Jackson. You're not going to see that too often. They're both pretty much. I've really only seen these two be first round clicks. Sometimes McBride at the turn itself. So that's a nice little mix he gets there. Beyond that, A-Chain got pulled up. So A-Chain into the first, Connor into the first, pushed Allen and Jackson out of the first. So a couple of opportunities here. Best Ball Viper, he's such a high volume player that it's not surprising for him to do something, try to get some different pairings, because this is not his certainly not his only bullet. So you're more likely to see a high volume player get a little loose, but also the turn is the place to get loose from. So we got CMC here. Let's see what we want to do. Let's see what the room gives to us. I am pretty likely to take another wide receiver here. Excuse me, another running back here. I guess it'll just depend. If Buster's Boys doesn't pair Burrow, I could do Higgins, Burrow. I don't think that's the way I want to play this. James Cook returned to practice. He practiced in full. So to me, that seems like the direction I think I want to take this. I could, in addition to Cook, I could just do a San Francisco overstack here. I mean, I could. Part of me wants to do, you know what? Let's do this. I'm going to do this. We're going to do Kamara Pearsall. We're going to do Kamara Pearsall, and we're going to say that this San Francisco New Orleans game is what's going to take us to Kansas City. Now, this is obviously a bit risky. We're putting all of our eggs in the Mac Jones basket, but in a dog bowl, I think you're much more live to game stack than you are in the big BR, where you really have to be perfect. You don't have to be super duper perfect in this. I probably will not take Mac Jones, but I could. I can't imagine a soul taking Mac Jones at pick 72 if I want to pencil him in there. If I want to do that, we'll see. We'll see what the board brings to us at pick 48 and 49. But again, Mac Jones did support BTJ in Jacksonville, and everybody is hurt in San Francisco. We don't have to go over it. Kittle's out. Juwan Jennings, it looks like he's trending towards not playing. I think the plane is going to be made out of CMC and Pearsall. So, New Orleans, I think their defense is perhaps a little underrated. So this isn't like a giga jam, but I want one team like this in my dog bowl qualifiers. There, I missed out on. Yeah, Dirty P saying what everyone's thinking. You don't know how a guy named Candles could be out on Wicks. It was so on brand. It was so on brand, and I whiffed. And it's like I knew that drops weren't sticky, and he did everything but hang on to the ball, so I should have been more in on it. But I was so in on Matthew Golden. It just seemed like such a crowded room that I was, I thought there were other late round clicks I liked more. But obviously, I should have been sprinkling him in, because from the first snap, they were looking at Wicks. He was heavily involved. Jolt says Wicks will soak up most of Reed's slop snaps. Very big for his shares. Yeah, Joel, I don't know if this is, I'm not saying this is not true. I'm just saying I'm not sure how that's going to shake out. But if that is true, then that would be absolutely huge for his shares. That would be a massive boon for Wicks. I haven't had the chance to look over how they deployed everybody when the game once Reed left. I was watching, but I was also watching my kid, so I wasn't glued to the screen to see the formations. Tieran says, one of my takeaways is don't play running backs in Green Bay. You make two cuts and you're falling down immediately. Yeah, if you want to do the Lambeau long grass narrative to fade running backs in Green Bay, last night was definitely exhibit A. And Xwall +2 for the double reverse. And Xwall trying to fill the double reverse. Now's your chance. Dirty P, I was hammering Wicks until he caught that late injury, and I quit him cold turkey. 5% by overweight the field, though. Yeah. I don't know what his overall rostership is in the in BBM, but I know it's well under 100%. Yeah, Chris, Dirty Piece, right? I don't know. That was such a brand play. I can't believe I didn't get there. Jake Binniger reminding us that Eckler is a big fantasy supporter too. Yeah, I know. He like would appear on the fantasy football. He has his own, or had his own podcast. Has his own podcast. He's one of us, so it really sucks. He's definitely one of the good guys. You really just hate to see it. Bindles, hi. What's up, Bindles? Thanks so much for coming in, hanging out. Greg says, sad for the Eggman. He looked good. Do we think the commies just ride with Bill now? Activate C-Rod? Yeah, I think there's going to be some discussion. If they don't add anybody, does this bring C-Rod back? Does this bring... I feel like McNichols is going to inherit some of the Eckler role. To me, it's going to really just turn into like a true three-way split. I think C-Rod will now be active. I can't imagine them leaving him inactive. It honestly could be kind of net worse for everybody here with Eckler out. I don't know. We'll have to see, because I don't know. I haven't had a big chance to think about this, but for me, I think that McNichols is the big beneficiary. C-Rod returns from like the grave, but I don't think he's going to be fantasy relevant, and probably doesn't do a whole heck of a lot for Kroski Merritt. But maybe he takes more of the snaps. I mean, Eckler was getting like base down work, so I was surprised to see how many times they just handed it to Eckler. All right, the board is coming to me. I got to figure out what I want to do. Fields, I probably would have considered Fields naked at pick 48. Let's see if there are any instant stacks we can have. We got Tet McMillan, Hollywood Brown, DJ Moore, J-Mo, Keon Coleman. So there's definitely a few good names. We also do need a tight end on this team. We do need a tight end. If I see wide receiver. Interesting. What do we want to do? J-Mo goes. J-Mo is certainly in heavy contention for me to take him there. Let's see, what do we want to do? I think DJ Moore is going to be the first click we make. I kind of like him in the dome against Detroit there, a game where I think Chicago is going to get pushed. Sorry, everyone. I know this is scintillating stuff here. Watching me hem and haw over who to take, and then I guess we just make. Do we make the Fannin bet? Do we take Brenton Strange? Let's take Brenton Strange here. I think that's fine. Let's do Strange there. So in the ideal world, we are going to take either Caleb or Mac Jones on this team. We'll do Caleb or Mac Jones. I think my preference would be Caleb in all likelihood, because I think Caleb has a little bit of rushing chops. But obviously I have this big bet on the Niners, so we'll see what the room hands to us. I have to think we're going to get one of those options there. All right. Greg says, or are they too competitive to that run out and he'll bring someone in? Yeah, I mean, they're definitely live to bring someone in. That's, of course, the corollary to all this, is that they could bring in somebody. I guess Tank Bigsby wouldn't have been a great fit. I don't think he could. I think he might have been actually kind of the polar opposite of Eckler. But, it would have been better for our Bigsby bags and our Shipley bags than going and muddying things up in Philadelphia. Hartman, GM to you. Thanks so much for coming in, hanging out. Dirty P says, Wicks on the hands team for onside recovery, very bullish. Yeah, I saw a tweet saying that he must have spent a lot of time on the jugs machine, because he was being on the hands team for somebody that was known for their drops. Maybe he's worked on that. Hartman, fun fact I saw this morning, which team has the most years since their last playoff win? It has to be the Dolphins, right? Didn't the Dolphins last win a playoff game in like 2000? Dirty Pete, 6% Wicks in BBM, 10 teams. LFG. Oh, that's not bad. 6% Wicks BBM. That's pretty good. Jake says, crazy. The Washington coach said C-Rod was getting the first shot at leading the backfield, and coaches lie. Jake. Coaches lie. They are dishonest by nature. You do not rise to the ranks of managing one of the 32 most expensive organizations in the world. These NFL franchises are worth billions of dollars. You do not become the leader of that franchise by being a good, honest man. You do it by hook or by crook. These people are all liars. They're all liars. Do not trust them. Do not trust them. Greg says, Hartman, Dolphins already dead. We don't need them. Greg, I'm pretty sure the answer was the Dolphins. Hartman. Hartman. I was going to tag you in the question, Greg. Thanks, Hartman. We know. Us Dolphin fans know. Hartman says, not Greg. Got it. It's the Dolphins in 2000s. Greg, beating the dead horse mean. Yeah, we're already dead. We're already dead inside. We are already dead inside. Hartman says, I legit did see the chart this morning. I didn't know they had the longest streak. The thing is, Hartman, the Dolphins had this incredible stretch where they would go between like 9-7 and 10-7. There was like a 10-year stretch in the early 2000s to 20 teens where the Dolphins were just in this stretch of mediocrity where they always seemed kind of good but were kind of bad, or they seemed kind of bad but actually outperformed. So they never felt like a team that had been like dreadful forever. They were just like kind of bad for a long time, but not good enough to actually like do anything. Go Easy Card should have done Juwan and Rattler. Yeah, that would have been bold. Probably not very heavily done in this. So Caleb goes to Mr. Odunze. So that's a little unfortunate. So we got one more quarterback between us. Let's see what our QB options are. Kyler and Mahomes are here. What? I'm just going to take one of Kyler and Mahomes. So there we go. I do not care about stacking enough to pass on those guys. I'm a little bit perplexed. And we'll see what Trendy does. I mean, he's going to take Goff. He's got a Lions double. So do we take Kyler or Mahomes? Gosh, it's so hard to pass on Mahomes, but Kyler, I'm a little torn. Because Kyler projects slightly better. Kyler has probably slightly more rushing upside. But Mahomes unstacked has gotten there. Hartman's saying the answer might be that guy took Matt Stafford. This is a little I didn't think I was going to be in this boat. So I'm just a little bit torn here. I think I just take naked Mahomes. Mahomes does randomly run if they get pushed by Philly. Let's do Mahomes. All right, so this team ends up being Mahomes, CMC, Kamara, Pearsall, DJ Moore, and Brenton Strange. So, wasn't expecting to do an unstacked Mahomes. Let's see what some people did. Let me catch up with chat, and then we can review what some of the better people in the room were doing. Let's see what the better people in the room were doing. Dirty P says Mike McDaniels went to 0 nearly as quick as that Hawk Tua girl. Maybe it's the Tua. Anything with Tua is cursed. But yeah, I would argue that the Hawk Tua girl probably has a brighter future than Mike McDaniel. Although, McDaniel probably gets a job as an OC somewhere after this, but I don't know. It's been pretty bad. Sladen says, had the Jags waited to week 1, they could have shipped out Etienne for actual assets. Sladen, first of all, GM Sladen, thanks so much for coming in, hanging out. Secondly, they like panic sold the bottom. Like, wait for teams to get injuries. Like, what are we doing here? Josh and Hayden asked a fun question. Do you want McDaniels with a different QB or Tua with a different coach? Okay, one thing, Slated, this is not a fun question for a Dolphins fan, because like it's like, oh, would you rather have your rotting fish paired with, spicy mustard, or like I don't know, like I could have, Pete would have come up with something better, but like I feel like Tua and McDaniels might just both suck, and so it's like I don't know. I think the answer is I would rather have McDaniel with the different QB because I know. I think it's Tua with a different coach. I think McDaniel is the problem. I think he's lost the locker room. I don't know. I liked McDaniel. I was a McDaniel apologist, and now I'm just like, I don't think the guy. When Tua went down, and we were completely incapable of moving the ball with a otherwise healthy team with Huntley or I can't remember who the other guy we were trotting out there was. And then watching the Packers with Malik Willis, who we all legitimately thought was one of the worst quarterbacks we've ever seen. They like won 2 games with him because he adjusted the offense. Like, to me, that was like a wake-up call. Like, okay, I don't think this coach, he's kind of a one-trick pony, and the league has figured out that trick. And it's Jover. Hartman says the answer might be neither. Oh, you were talking. That was what you were saying. Hartman says Murray or Mahomes seems good. Gotcha. Dirty P says I've got an eliminator matchup versus Go AZ Cards. A little wake up best ball battle. So maybe we can review that Monday. Dirty P. Good luck. Good luck to you. Good luck to Go AZ Cards. Of course, you're going down. Go AZ Cards. Man, people's heads going to explode if the Dolphins have a bounce back. Yep. They are being left for dead. Go AZ Cards. Naked Stafford with JMO and Sun God. I do not get that unless that was like unless this person was auto drafting off of ranks. That's the only thing I can think of, because Cook was a faller. JMO was near ADP, but I don't know if he was the highest player. I don't know if this was an auto off of ranks, but whose ranks would have Stafford ahead of Kyler? Like, I get if you're like, oh, I don't like Mahomes, like people can be weird about that, but like Kyler against Carolina, I don't know. Very, very strange decision there. Let's see what Best Ball Viper did. So he went Connor, BTJ, MHJ, JMO, and T-Law, and then Ferguson. So that explains why, the reason that Kyler fell is people really stay in their lanes. You had the McBride drafter. He took Lamar, and then you had the MHJ drafter take T-Law. And so Kyler just went undrafted in this contest. Speaking of the Lamar drafter, we had Mythology. He took McBride, Lamar Jackson, Zay Flowers, Devontae Adams, and then he went with Swift and Tracy. I like both these guys. I mean, I'm the biggest Scatabo bull you'll find on the internet, or one of the. And I think Tracy is a fine click this week, especially if Thomas comes back on the Giants' offensive line. I think he practiced yesterday, so I don't mind the Tracy click. I don't mind the Tracy click in round 6 in these in this contest. So I like Mythology's team there, and I don't think I recognize any other friends or family in here. So Hartman says I had to look at it twice to realize Stafford didn't stack with that team. Yeah, when I saw Stafford get taken, I had his team like memorized, but just a very, very odd pick. Very odd pick. I don't understand. Like, talk about somebody with absolutely no rushing upside. Like he does not. The 4 horsemen of the apocalypse could be coming at him, and he would be pointing to his offensive line to block. Like he's not running. Like he's holding his ground. So anyway, all right, that was a fun draft. I like that team. We got a big bet on the Niners San Francisco game. We got DJ Moore, who I think is live to be, have a good game against Detroit. I like Bretton Strange, Cincinnati. Maybe it's not Fannin. Maybe it wasn't Fannin. Maybe Cincinnati just can't stop tight ends. It's heresy. It's heresy to even suggest such a crazy thing, but we'll see. Maybe Bretton Strange can be good. And of course, Mahomes has one of those vintage games, but spreads the ball around so he doesn't carry Hollywood Brown with him or Kelsey. He has those kind of games in him where, Mahomes doesn't bring anyone. So don't mind this team. Let's hop into a regular BR. If anyone wants, again, I've mentioned I don't count these down because they're too small, and you're more likely to end up in an underflow than you will. If this is waiting for 1, so if you try to get in and it's full, you'll just be waiting for 5, and you can hop out if you don't want to do a BR. Otherwise, right, Hartman says, Chad, if you get Lamar, would you try to stack him with Flowers or scroll down and get Bateman or just naked Lamar? I've been in that boat, and I've been mixing that up. I have mostly That's a good question. What I've been doing. I don't know if I've been doing any one of those too much. And I mix in Andrews in there as well. Speaking of guys that are totally left for dead, but are very uncomfortable. I mean, he had like one catch for 9 yards in a game where they scored 40 points. Seems bad. There were some clips going around Twitter where he was just like ambling around the field. Very strange, strange usage. I don't know what that was about. I do want to see one more week before I completely give up on him. I don't, likely, I'm pretty sure is not back this week. It could get ugly for him this year if that trend continues when Likely comes back. I mean, Harbaugh was saying he thought Likely could be like a Pro Bowler, and now we see Andrews not very involved. A little bit scary for the Andrews shares. But to answer your question, I've been just varying that. I do the Bateman thing by far the least, but Bateman did have as many spike weeks as Flowers did last year, so I don't mind that. You'll be very different. If you do that, you really don't have to like do much additional scrolling if you don't want to. So it looks like we got our guy Hartman here at the 5. Good luck to you, Hartman. I will we'll see you in the streets. CMC, Henry, Jamar Chase, go. I don't do a ton of CD Lamb. Let's do a CD Lamb share. I mean, he's pretty good. He's pretty good. Go AZ Cards. How's my team look? Dirty P in our matchup. Dirty P, you gotta let the people know. You gotta let the people know who is favored in the eliminator matchups. My eliminator story. I think I have 27 teams currently. CD Lamb. Let's see. We'll make this a Saquon team. I'm deciding if I want Trey McBride. Let's take Saquon. Lamb Saquon won't be rare, but it'll be kind of uncommon from the 9. So, or from the this won't be that rare. This is not special. All right, I scratched that. This isn't really that exciting of a start. Let me see how many eliminator teams. I'm checking my eliminator stuff. I think I have BBMTB. Let's see. I know I have a lot of Tucker Craft in my eliminator, which does make me feel pretty good about that. My exposures, candles. All right, hold on. What am I doing? I don't know what's going on. All right, here we go. I realize I'm not sharing the correct screen with you guys, but we'll look at this after. So I did 45 eliminators and I'm advancing 27, which is pretty good. That's pretty. I think I was like 65%, which is nice. Let's stick to this for a second. What did Hartman do to start? Hartman went Gibbs and then Jackson. We have 3 elite quarterbacks off of the board already. I think my inclination would be to try to do Neighbors with Lamb. That's going to be super common, so maybe we could try to get a little off the board with at least one of our picks to land this plane here. So we got Lamb, Neighbors. That's obviously a game stack there. We got Saquon here. So could we do a Mahomes team and then bet on that game? Maybe we leave that game alone and we make that the only piece. So we will see. Hartman asks, are you doing any Mac Jones stacks? Your ceiling too low for BR? I might sprinkle that in as an ownership play. But I'm worried. I'm worried, just like you say, that I don't know if he runs enough to feel like I have much of a ceiling. That game, though, I mean, it is in a dome and it's going to be hyper concentrated. Like, who to stack him with. It's Pearsall, it's CMC, or both. I don't know if in a BR I would do CMC, Pearsall, Mac Jones. I definitely would in a dog bowl. I think that's pretty live. All right, let's go Jonathan. The problem is this feels like dupe city here if I do Taylor, and that I should be scrolling on this team. You know what we'll do? We'll do Kelsey. We'll do Kelsey. If somebody takes Mahomes, I'll feel kind of stupid, but there's only one guy I have to worry about. It looks like he's got some quarterback options I think he's probably more likely to do than Kelsey. So we're going to try to make a Kelsey Mahomes stack, and then we're going to take a scroll down running back to try to get different down there. All right. Let's see. Hartman, he's got Gibbs, Jackson, AJ Brown, and James Conner. So pretty much just a very good mix of players. We'll see if Hartman is actually looking to take a Flowers, a Bateman, and Andrews, or just leave Jackson unstacked. Again, as we talked about before, I think all of those options are perfectly reasonable. Perfectly reasonable there. The one hole, we'll see. I'd be surprised if he takes a quarterback. Yeah. So he takes Taylor. Again, he has a lot of guys. All these guys are 100% drafted there. With my next pick, I will not take a quarterback because Hartman and Elise cannot take quarterbacks. Whereas Elise, he can still take a running back. Hartman can't take a running back. He's got to take a tight end and a receiver. Elise has to take a tight end and either a receiver or running back. So that's a long way of saying we are going to try to find one more running back. And who do we want to do? I like Breece Hall. I'm just worried it's not scrolly enough for this otherwise chalky team. But I also don't mind. Ken Walker feels thin. He feels more like a dog bowl kind of guy. I think I might just do Breece Hall and not try to get like super duper cute. This might not be scrolling enough, but I also feel like I'm willing to take the chance that this is duped. It does feel like a lot of teams that do this with Lamb and Neighbors would go Dak. I feel like Dak will probably be the more common pick of teams who have built this. Could be bad. I could do Fields if I want to get really squirrely. I actually feel like Fields and Hall are not the most terrible thing. That might be more of a dog bowl or single entry kind of play. But the Buffalo, was susceptible to what the Ravens do, which is kind of similar to what the Jets do. I think that's getting a little cute, but let's take Mahomes here and do Mahomes, Saquon, Breece Hall, CeeDee Lamb, Malik Neighbors, Travis Kelce. Again, I normally like to scroll a little bit more than I did in this draft, but I don't mind the occasional chalky build. I'm doing a lot of these drafts. I don't have to get nuts in every single one. All right. Let's see. Greg says Hartman feels like a sneaky play for smaller contests. Yeah, I mean, the smaller the contest, the more I think that's live to me. Again, I don't hate it. I don't hate it for the main BR. The other thing is it like if Pearsall's what you need and what it takes to get you onto a Pearsall team is Mac Jones, as long as Mac Jones doesn't get buried by another quarterback, like you could still win if he scores like 5 or 6 points below like the optimal quarterback. Because did Pearsall even get drafted in this? No, like Pearsall's not an 100% drafted player. So if your plan is that, like you could kind of back your way into a thing where, as long as he doesn't get totally dusted and the rest of your team is good, like you're still alive. So I don't hate it. And I do really like Pearsall. I think he should be being taken more than he is. I think people are scared of Mac Jones, and I think we should be embracing it. Dirty P says, go easy cards. Our matchup could go either way. I like both teams. Hartman, do you like either Denver or Patriot running back for a scroll? Again, for me, they're more dog bully guys, but if you told me Travion Henderson was like had an 8-chain like game where he has like 50 yards on the ground and 110 yards through the air and a touchdown or two, I would not be shocked. Like he seems live to have that kind of like hyper efficiency game. Ramondre looked like a slug in the Dolphins defense's ass. So I've heard some real sickos say Ramondre is a good scroll. I have a little bit of trouble with that. but I'm not going to tell you no. I mean, winning these contests, you got to get a little bit uncomfortable. So, I mean, these things can definitely work. Dirty P says, go easy cards. Our matchup. Oh, I read that before. Hartman says, Bateman incoming guaranteed. All right. Well, we could see. I don't think I reviewed your team, but you went Gibbs, Jackson, AJ Brown, James Conner, David Njoku, and Rashad Bateman. I like it. There's not gonna be a lot of Bateman teams in this, so I am in with you there. Go easy cards. You've said this like 3 times, Dirty P. I don't know if you're glitching or if you're just trying to. I'm easily confused. A 50-yard wheel route TD coming in for Travion. Yeah, that is what we're coming to expect. Is that Travion could just absolutely crush through the air. I realized I didn't actually tweet that I was live. So let me do that. We're live for some BRs. Come hang. Sorry, I realized I didn't tweet this out. People might think we're not live. Can't be doing that. Also, it has been, how long has it been? It's been 36 minutes. I have not asked for a like or sub. Only our friend Best Ball on Call reminded folks to hit the like. If you can hit the like, hit the sub. It would do me a lot of good. I would appreciate that. Let's see where the dog bowl's at. I'm trying to do 50 dog bowls this week. We're gonna cap it at that. Waiting for 3. All right, this seems like it's gonna fill. I don't know if it's filling because people watching are like, oh my god, my EV is going through the roof because Chad is drafting, or if it is now Friday and the drafters are here. If the drafters are here. Go AZ cards. I have 57 to shuffle through. Underdogs handle the same. Dirty P. Yeah, it's a little hard. It's a little clunky in the app to find specific matchups. I think they're working on it. Best Ball and Call, at least be good for. Hey, Best Ball and Call. You are good for many things, and I do again. I really appreciate the support. Dirty P says, I just posted our Eliminator teams into Whohame's Discord server in the hashtag Eliminator channel. All right, Dirty P, if you want to check out the matchup, we'll have to pull that up at some point. Maybe again on Monday we can, if you guys are both in here, we can see the battle of Dirty P and Go AZ cards. The Gale GM2, thanks for coming in. As soon as I wake up and tune in. Hey, the Gale, thanks so much for both those things. Appreciate your support. We're here at the 10 hole, which again, I don't mind. We got Go AZ cards. He's in at the 2. We got Mr. Worth at the 6. We got our arch nemesis, Chad G20, who's not affiliated with this channel. I don't know who this is. And then we got Mathology at the 9. We got Mathology, friend of the program here as well. We'll keep the board up. We'll try to stay focused on this one and see what we can see. Chase Brown at the 101. I mean, I love Chase Brown this week. And if you're only doing a few of these, don't mind pulling them up. If you want to try a board flip, you can do that. To me, there's a little less value in board flipping just because there's a lot of variance room to room in these. So I think it's fine. I think it's fine if you think Chase Brown is the 101, take him there. But I don't. People are not as rigid to ADP like they are in BBMs in these contests. I feel like, although sometimes people get in the dog bowl and they really tighten up, and they really tighten up. So I don't know. I don't know how I feel about the board flipping. This is my first year doing a lot of dog bowls, so I'm trying to just take mental notes of the different builds and things you can do. Hartman says BBMDB has good eliminator tracker like they do. Yeah, BBMDB is the best place to go to be following along for that. Go easy cards. I took the plus EV versus Mr. Candles and jumped in. All right. Let's see what we want to do. Do we want Lamar Jackson or do we want Trey McBride? I think I want Trey McBride, and the reason is there is a chance Lamar Jackson comes back to me. There is stone zero chance Trey McBride comes back to me. So we're going to do an elite tight end team here. Hopefully this pans out. They were desperately trying to get him a touchdown last week. He failed because he's Trey McBride and he's incapable of scoring touchdowns. We'll see if that changes. Greg says, Dirty's got Monungai. Dirty wins. Sorry, Cards. I mean, they're saying Kyle Monungai is who you need. Now, actually, I have not checked if Roshan Johnson practiced. That I have to admit, I am not. I did not see yesterday's practice report for the Bears. I do worry if he's active, he's going to be the goal line back. Doesn't seem like they really loved Swift at the goal line. They clearly did not trust Monungai enough to actually give him the football. He was on the field, which was super exciting, but he didn't have any carries. That seems bad. You know, when they're running DJ Moore out there and not Kyle Monungai. I don't know. Interesting stuff. So Lamar Jackson here. Obviously, if we do Lamar Jackson, we're going a kind of modified 0 RB. Lamar Jackson goes. So now the question is Malik Neighbors or a running back. I think I'm going to do a Breece Hall team. If I did James Conner, I would be making a Mondo bet on the Cardinals, which I think is fine. I also don't think it's as unique as you think it is as the McBride drafter. I think people are going to be doing that. The Carolina defense is straight up bad. I don't mind that if you want to do some teams like that. Again, you can I think make those big team bets in the Dog Bowl better than you can in the main BR. Of course, I gift Mathology the Lamb Neighbors start. You're welcome, Mathology. As always, if I give you something and you win the contest, all I request is you make a donation to your local animal shelter in my name. So Mathology, please remember to do so if that gets you home or gets you to Kansas City. All right, let's see. I missed that. Go AZ Cards. Dirty P got this. I have Purdy. Oh, yikes. Yeah, Purdy's brutal because he was such a good eliminator pick with the week 14 bye and missing, what is it? I don't think he's on IR yet. I think they said, 2 to 5 weeks seems like the timeline. That's pretty brutal. And turf toe. Can I do a brief turf toe rant? It is such a serious injury and it has such a goofy name that it sounds like nothing. It's like, oh, turf toe. Like, how bad could that be? But it's like, turf toe, it really is serious. Like, it's like you can, it can affect you like the whole year. It can linger on. It's very painful. You're an athlete. You require explosion off of your foot and it saps that. Like, it's not a joke. And it's like, oh, turf toe. It sounds like something in like a Sesame Street, but it's like kind of a nightmare. Hartman, Roshan back at practice. Rip Monungai. Yeah, we'll see where it shakes out, but I am a little concerned there. Greg Swift proved that yet again. He can't run between the tackles. They had to give the RB1 the chance, right? Yeah, Swift hates running up the middle, man. He absolutely does not want to do it. You know, the Bears should have signed Scatabo or drafted Scatabo, but that is yet another tale of woe. Dirty P says Stafford could have a game, or we could use Herbert. Could come down to Ladd versus Keenan or Breece versus Braylon. Yeah, I mean, this is why the Eliminator is so cool, is because it's just like a content creation machine. Like, I guess I say that it's gonna peter out by like week 7 because most people doing this are going to have no teams left. Like, that's the sad reality is you max the contest and you're expected to have like one team by week 8. So it kind of sucks, but for early season, it is just absolutely glorious. Like, having those kind of discussions that like, if I'm in a pod with someone I know in BBM, I'm not going to be chirping at them. Like, no one cares until like the end about like an individual pod, but these individual eliminator matchups are really fun. Hartman, the running back 1 was inactive with a foot sprain. Sadly, I assume you're talking about Roshan there. The QB 3 was inactive. All right, I'm missing some context here, guys. I apologize. Go AZ Cards. Maybe I will dupe Dirty P's Eliminator and punch my ticket to the Dog Bowl. Caleb Odunze Stack. Caleb Odunze Stack's kind of live. All right, we're coming around. Time to lock in. Let's see what we can do. Interesting choice. Pollard, of course, would have been a nice selection for us. There's a lot of running backs or wide receivers I am into in this range. I like Metcalf. I like Pearsall. I like Flowers. I like Pickens. So some good options there. Travion Henderson, of course, we mentioned. We could do Tyreek, Travion. I don't think that's as clever as people think it is. I'm really into Metcalf. And let's see. I want Pearsall. I'm pretty into that. I could take Tet McMillan and try to game stack this cards game. I don't hate that. D-Mac, Hartman, he answers your question. He pairs Flowers and Lamar. I mean, I think that makes a good deal of sense for him. I'm so used to needing a tight end late that that in my mind I'm like, oh, I'm going to take Fannin or Strange on this team, but I am not. Please don't let me do that. Please don't let me go to tight end, even if it's Harold Fannin. I'm not going to do that, even in a dog bowl. Seems bad. I want Pearsall. If I don't get Pearsall, I was going to click on Tyreek, Pickens, Tet McMillan. So I don't know if oh my gosh, I'm sorry. I just slammed the microphone. I hope that didn't deafen everybody. All right, Fields goes. Can't fault him for taking Field. Pearsall going's a bummer. I really like Pearsall. I would have been into that. So maybe we do take Travion. I think there's some late wide receivers that at this point I'm now just as into, whereas the late running backs feel like I got to do a heck of a lot of squinting. If I do truly believe that Travion could have that A-chain outcome, let's swing for those fences on this team. I think this backdoor kind of shadily opens up this to be a Drake May team. I don't have much Drake May, but I would not hate doing May Travion if I had to. I could even do Booty May if I want to get like Gross or Diggs May. I think those two will be available late just to tell the people what my kind of thoughts are there. Of course, if someone takes those guys, like there's 1,000 things you can do in the BRs. And so I'm not too worried about telegraphing what I am doing here. All right, let's get back to the chat. Let's get back. Greg says the Monungai Roshan drama is going to be fun all year. Yeah, until they finally trade for somebody, and then we're all just be done with it. Greg says that is big brain stuff. Yeah, the Caleb Odunze stack. Of course, on Pete's stream, someone that was like their sneaky stack in BR was the Caleb Odunze stack. They signed off right when they were about to tell it, so the whole chat was speculating of who it was going to be. Dirty P, I think Monungai had a carry. It was a good run, but it was called back because of a hold by Darnell Wright. Then Monungai got flagged for a penalty. If that darn hold didn't happen, Monungai would have just taken over the backfield. But it was the butterfly effect. It was that stupid hold by Darnell Wright. Just his whole career trajectory just altered there. Greg says, Hartman's team Roshan. I'm team Roshan is a converted quarterback that's athletic and fun, not an actual running back. Gotcha. I missed the lore, I have to confess. I had forgotten that Roshan was a converted quarterback. Now, I assume this was high school, not college, right? Now I'm going to seem really stupid if he was a college QB. But a lot of high school teams just put their best athlete at quarterback and just say, like, go with God. Greg says, yeah, Monungai got to work on that block. He got lit up picking up a blitz and had to hold on. He's one of us, Craig. He's one of us. Wouldn't that happen? We'd get pancaked and then we'd grab a leg and pray. Dirty P says, I got murdered in Eliminator, started with 120, got 46. Oof, Dirty P. That is, yeah, I mean, you see a lot of people with like above average advance rates, like yours truly. So it means somebody has to have below average advance rates, like just mathematically. But Dirty P, no, you know what that means? Those are the strong. What you've done is you've weeded out the weak teams, and all that's left is the 46 of the best teams in the entire contest. So Dirty P, don't you fret. Do not fret. You will be okay. Hartman says athletic and fun might be enough for the best running back in the Steelers. I also don't think Roshan is good, but Swift is even worse as a runner. That is fair. Oh, Greg says college. He didn't turn into a running back till junior year. See, Greg, I feel like an idiot. I should have. That is something I absolutely should have known and had somehow forgotten there. All right, let's see what the room is willing to give us here. A lot of good tight ends. I'm not going double tight end. Do not fret. Yeah, see, you get to the end and there's enough good wide receivers where you can tell yourself like you can push this. Moore, Coleman, even Travis Hunter, Odunze, Pittman. Like there's guys. There's real guys here. If Kyler comes to us, do we want to do a Kyler team? I mean, I don't mind that at all. I feel like Kyler would be fine. The two people after me have quarterback, so we're going to take our quarterback last. Drake May is still there if we want to do that. Let's see what Mathology does. Mathology, I mean, he's got to be taking Dak, right? He's probably not going to take Dak because he knows I'm not going to take Dak. Yeah, he takes DJ Moore, so he takes Moore off the board. Now, a question for me is, let's get a little, gosh, is this too cute? Is it too cute to go Diggs May? Sort by their projection. I know the booty people are out of control, but you got to think Diggs in Miami. Like, he's definitely not going to get into trouble and be partying, and he's going to be hyper focused on this game with the Dolphins. So let's do Diggs Drake May. We don't have a lot of Drake May exposure. We're going to just bet against the Dolphins here. Let's see how this team goes. There's going to be a lot of Kyler McBride teams. There's going to be a lot of Drake May, Hunter Henry. I've seen that. I haven't seen a lot of Drake May Diggs, and I don't think I've seen a lot of May Diggs Hendo teams. So that's how this team is going to land the plane here. FK Cooler says it's probably likely that none of them are who you need for the games we play. Yeah, Greg's speaking for all of us when he says chill with the logic. We play these games so we can get excited about the sweatiest people like Kyle Monungai, like the most fantasy irrelevant people that we can spend like so much time arguing about. That's why we do it, FK Coolers. Don't kill the vibe here. But no, you're probably right. Like it is probably like, how many fantasy points is Kyle Monungai scoring? Like, is that really going to hit your lineup? Like, probably not. Probably not there. All right, so we're going to end this team with Drake May. There were some options. Keon Coleman I like a lot. He would have been a bring back to Brees. But let's make a bet against the Miami footballing Dolphins. Let's say this is the Drake May, the Drake out. That's what they're going to call it, the Drake out. So we got Drake May, Brees Hall, Travion Henderson, DK Metcalf, Steph Diggs, and Trey McBride. Don't mind the team. Mathology, as predicted, did take Dak, but he smartly pushed him, knowing that I am a rational player. At least I'll tell myself that. Mathology says Chad's a good guy. He's not going to take Dak for no reason. But he, of course, did also have outs. He could have taken Goff. He could have taken Caleb. So Mathology really was fine pushing quarterback there, though I'm sure he wanted Dak most with JMO and Lamb. So Mathology, he goes Lamb and Neighbors, gets the game stack, builds out the game stack with Dak, and ultimately over Javonte, ultimately Dak. He takes Laporta, DJ Moore. So very well constructed team from Mathology. Again, it makes me feel good. And I'll say why, because he has Javonte and Lamb in the quarterback, right? So clearly someone who is very good at this game says it's okay in this format to have running back, wide receiver, quarterback. And we built the same way. We went Hendo, Diggs, Drake May. So, that is something you can absolutely do in these dog bowls. Let's see what Mr. Worth did. He went Saquon, Connor, MHJ, Tet McMillan, Kyler Murray. I actually thought Kyler was still on the board. I completely missed that Mr. Worth had taken Kyler there. So he pairs Kyler, MHJ. He builds the MHJ, McMillan, Kyler stack. This is going to be very common. So you're going to have a lot of 3v3s. And he also had Connor. I didn't even realize this. So he has the triple, the Arizona triple. So yeah, I like that. I mean, Saquon Strange with this 4-guy game stack. That's pretty cool. Go AZ Cards. What'd he do? CMC, Cook, and then Sutton, Olave, Bo, Nix, and Dalton Kincaid. Very interesting way you built this team, Go AZ Cards, because Olave tends to go undrafted, and Kincaid goes late. But like by passing tight end, if you wanted Kincaid anyway, like your last 3 picks, it almost felt like it didn't matter what order you necessarily took them in. And you have Sutton. Very few people are taking Nix naked. Very few people are doing Nix with Franklin, Ingram. You could have someone go Nix Ingram. So I like the way you drafted it. It's just interesting. You were the Olave. You took Olave in the 4th round. versus taking like I probably would have just taken Nix there and then taken the tight end of choice. But if you knew your tight end was Kincaid or you didn't care and you really cared about Olave, very interesting build. Like these are the kind of interesting like thought exercises you can have when you kind of map out your team. But go AZ Cards. I like the crew. I like the crew. All right, let's catch up with chat and then we'll hop in another BR. Hartman says, to be fair, Roshan only had 2 college pass attempts ever, had like 80 carries every year, maybe officially listed as a QB early, but he was a wild. Okay, thank you, Hartman, because I have not followed college as closely as I'd like to. I'm trying to get back into the college football streets. But I felt like I should have known that Roshan Johnson was a college quarterback. So thank you for making me feel better that he wasn't like, Caleb Williams out there slinging the ball and then converted to running back. Greg, totally fair. Doesn't fit the narrative. We got to build our own narrative here, Greg. Hey, who aims? Sup, fam? GM to you. Dirty P, Go AZ Cards. They're having an epic eliminator battle. They've posted it in your Discord over there. That is the place to be for all things, Go AZ Cards versus Dirty P. Dirty P says, if BTJ and Jamar Chase are weak, then yes, I'd like to shed all those shares. I feel like I missed something because I don't think I missed anyone making that argument. Hartman says, fair, my bag's legally required to defend Roshan at all costs. Hartman, I have a lot of Roshan, but I've stopped defending him. He's on his own. He is cut off. I radioed in. I said, Roshan, I'm sorry to tell you, there's nothing left. If you can make it back to our lines, we'll see you there. But there's no one coming for you, pal. Who aims? My bags say the Bears won't be able to run the ball. Yeah, who aims? I don't have any DeAndre Swift, like very little DeAndre Swift. He was my big fade in the 60s, especially on DK. Like I'm like, I don't understand this price. He's way too. But then I took a lot of Pacheco, which if I could trade my Pacheco shares for a used Dodge Caravan, I would. Yep. Greg in agreement with Hartman. Who aims saying CD at 6 is nice. Yeah. Mathology got a nice little GM with Lamb neighbors there. Go AZ Cards got sniped on my double with Ingram. That chaps me. Yeah. Again, go AZ Cards. I think that's why maybe you go Ingram Nix there, because I have to imagine unless you're like the biggest Olave bull ever, it sounds like you're more upset about that, and I can't imagine anyone taking Olave from you there. That's the only thing. I probably would have done that order. But yeah, who knows? Maybe, if Kincaid outscores Ingram, then there you go. Yeah, Kincaid was your fallback. Kincaid's a great fallback. Like Kincaid going undrafted, being the last tight end. Their tight end is deep enough to where if you don't go McBride, like I would just push it. If you like Warren, fine, go Warren. But I feel like you're middling it with this like Laporta, Kelsey tier, unless it's like a specific game stack you're really trying to access. Who's our favorite tight end scroll? I mean, is Fannin a scroll? If Fannin's a scroll, then it's Fannin. Like I like Fannin and Strange, but I don't know if they're scrolly enough. If you're scrolling past that, then it's actually, for me, it's Kincaid. I think Juwan Johnson's fine. I have a lot of him in BBM, which I'm pretty happy about. We'll see if it's actually like he's going to have that kind of target share. If he does, then he's just like a giga jam, even with Rattler at quarterback. I don't think the Niners defense is that great. But yeah, that's where I would go. You could take a lot of these late tight ends. People are jamming Henry late. I'm not a big Hunter Henry guy, but I see the vision. Like he's not my late tight end scroll, but he's a lot of like smart people's tight end scroll. Greg can't get off Jonnu. Jonnu, great tight end scroll. I'm with you there. Ingram been going undrafted, took that chance. Yeah. I think part of him going undrafted was he missed practice, so people got scared. I have to think he'll probably start getting drafted again, at least from time to time. I think he was off of a lot of people's boards completely, at least on Wednesday and early Thursday. The Pacheco bags felt bad after week 1, but not sure what to think when they were reeling from the Worthy injury. Yeah, their whole game plan, I think, just absolutely crumbled. Who aims? I think you're right there. So I'm leaving the light on for Pacheco. He might just be kind of up and down. Greg says, also mixing in the Olave scroll. I don't know what it is, but I like it. I don't hate it, Greg. I don't hate the Olave scroll. I think you can do him in 6-mans if you want to. I don't think he's dog bowl only to me. Dirty P asking, is Juwan a scroll? Yeah, same question. If he's a scroll, I like that one. Fandom now operates on his own plane. It's Linsanity adjacent. Yep. Hartman asks, is Jake Tongas worth picking? Hartman, the problem, I'm gonna shoot straight. I knew nothing about Jake Tongas until the last game. I think I had seen his name on the roster, but I couldn't have told you if he was like a blocking tight end or the pass catcher. But he did immediately step in and he scored a touchdown. I think he had 3 catches. I think he had at least 3 receptions in that game. I don't think he's not worth picking. I'm not picking him because I think there's so many tight ends we know or we think are going to be good to where he's kind of like, he feels like the mystery box. Like he feels like the Brenton Strange mystery box. Like it's like, why would you rather just take Brenton Strange there? I don't think it's terrible. I think if you're game stacking that, you could do that. I think, but like, do you need to go like Mac Jones, Jake Tongas? Like, no one's gonna do it, but it feels too thin. It feels like Sunday night you'll be like scrolling through your teams, be like, why do I have this team where Mac Jones scored 14 points and Jake Tonga scored 4.5? Like it might just really feel kind of gross, but he also might score a touchdown or 2. Like I don't know. I'm not anti Jake Tongas, but I don't know if I'm getting to him yet. I will do one and only dog bowl. I went May Henry. Yeah. People like that May Henry late stack, which is partly why I liked the Diggs Hendo stack, because I think I'm going to be against a lot of May Henry teams, not a lot of New England overs. FK Coolers, Gesicki isn't a bad one if you want a deep flyer, but the floor is 0. I don't know what format I would need to get to Gesicki in. I don't know what the Fant deal was. Like, was Gesicki just working in slow because he was injured in training camp? But to me, Gesicki feels fancy. But again, people are asking for scrolls, so I'm not going to poo-poo anyone's. As long as you're like a legitimate player, I'm not going to say not to do something. I'll just tell you what I'm doing. I don't think I'm getting to. I don't think I'm getting to Gesicki. I love how my team gets the very interesting build. Well, you build interesting teams. You build it, and I will tell people if I don't like things. I'm not like a sugar coater. Like, I'm not mean, but I'm not going to lie to anybody. Like I probably would have done Nix then Ingram then Olave. Like that's how I probably would have done it. But if you were more worried about missing out on that, you just have a feeling about Olave, then just grab him, because you'll be really mad at yourself if Olave goes off and you like didn't get him. So I'm with you, but it is interesting. You took Chris Olave in the 4th round. Like that's not being done. So to me, that's something I see someone do something I'm not expecting, and I'll hit him with the very interesting. FK Coors. Greg says FK Coors didn't watch any of that game. Is Noah Fant really about to scoop Gesicki's job? The pride of Southern Regional. Hartman says I didn't even know his name, but he had a touchdown. Stuff I've read says he's the pass catcher. And Luke, yep, that's what I've heard too. Hartman. Greg, I thought I was reading FK Coors' response. I don't know. Who Aim says that Fant feels more like the anti-Yoshi. The Yoshi Voss truthers out there. I mean, he was out there running around. He didn't really do. I don't think he did a whole heck of a lot. But we'll see. I do have a fair amount of Yoshi as a chaperone. Hartman says, just remember, if Chad doesn't like your team, he's being a hater. If he likes it, then it's it's genuine. Yeah, that's the key, Hartman. That is the key. That you got to read it. You got to read into these things that way. That's the way to do it. Dirty P, did everyone read Zach Taylor's quote about the tight end room in Coach Speak? Dirty P, don't tease us. I did not read the quote, so I don't know what he said. Yeah, that could well be true. Gesicki got only like 30% of the snaps. Yeah, that's where I'm at. I'm leaving the light on for that. Go Easy Cards, last round tight end. Who cares as long as it correlates? I will say, I would not necessarily fall into the correlation trap, because like you have Sutton and Nix here. And so let's say that was your thesis, is I need my last round tight end, and you're just like jam Chig in every time and take no Strange, no Juwanson, like who don't correlate. Like you could end up you could have this right and then fall just short because you just had the wrong tight end. I'm not saying don't take Chig. I'm just saying, like, just be careful sometimes with like the over correlating, because you don't get as much from like the bring back as people think. People bring back like kind of out of habit, and it can help. And I like to bring back, but I also think sometimes you can, if you're doing a lot of entries, you can end up like, oh, why is Chig on all of my X teams, or why is Strange on all of my Y teams? Like, and you can do that where I think sometimes like you just randomly get a tight end that gets 2 touchdowns and the game sucks, but like, oh yeah, like, you know, Hunter Henry had 2 touchdowns, like had the 2 touchdowns that New England scored. The game was, 14-13. Like, so I don't know. I would just be hesitant about like over correlating some of those things. I think it can be a little bit of a trap. All right, let's hop in another BR. Harmon asking, location error. I haven't gone anywhere. Why are you doing this to me? Dear God. Will this fix it? Let me see. All right. Don't know what that was about. We're in a PR. We're waiting for 2. If you got rugged by the location error and are in the underflow, I am so sorry. I did not know I did not know that was going to happen. Dirty P says, there's a lot of flexibility in the tight end room. The playtime percentages can be different every single game. We're fortunate to have 5 tight ends that we trust. Oh, that was the quote? Yeah, that's going to be super duper fun. That's going to be super duper fun for us to roster every week. Yeah, the Zach Taylor quote. Oh, God. Zach Taylor. Yeah, elite rug pull. That was Underdog. That was the Dawg app there. FK Cooler says, my line of thought was the Bengals, high team total, 4 Bengals, all 100% draftable. Gesicki not at all, probably too fancy. Again, it's like you win these things by doing things people aren't doing. To me, that's too fancy. But, Gesicki randomly just like wins people weeks. And if you do that the one week where that happens, like you win. Like, I feel like tight end this week, at least before the buys, is so deep that I'd rather take a shot on a guy. If the bet is like one of these tight ends is randomly going to spike, I'd at least fire the one that I know is on the field, like, period. Like, is on the field. Like, I don't know how much Gesicki's like playing. And Jake Benninger, why is Fannin on every streamer's team? Yeah. Well, I'm not in the cabal. I don't even think I'm cabal adjacent, but if I ever wish to get in, I'm going to have to put up, show tape of this. And then I took Fannin and I was pumping the Fannin bags in. So, that's what's going on there. Dirty P noting that Hartman is sharp with his Drake May team. This room, it was a truly elite rug pull. This isn't a McBride in the second team. Huames, I missed something there, but yeah, Huames in this room. Let me make my pick. I'll make this a Gibbs team. I like Gibbs quite a bit. So we got Huames in at the 3. We got myself at the 4. Go Easy Cards at the 5. We got Hartman at the 6. So a true friends and family in this battle royale. Poor Econo name. He does not know what he's gotten himself into, but he's defending himself well with CMC at the 1. Huames, are you saying because McBride won't last in this room to the 2nd? Because that's generally true in the rooms that I am in. Part of that is because I tend to take him in the 2nd if he's there, but I also am more than happy to build other constructions than McBride. Like, I'll just take Gibbs and Saquon. That seems good. Huames, if you want McBride in the 2nd, he is all yours. Huames takes McBride. I got a 45% McBride, almost took him at 3. Well, Huames, you have been gifted a mighty gift there. I just could not pass on Saquon where I took him. Go Easy Cards, he left McBride. That's the thing about Battle Royales is if you're in a room where, people have a plan, you just can get random fallers. Like, guys can really just plummet into the depths. Huames says, my only Henry team needed McBride. Thanks, Huames. Again, my only rule if you're in a stream of mine and you win a lot of money because I gifted you something, please donate to your local animal shelter. And you can do so in my name. That's my only request. All right. Let's see what we want to do here. Lots of good wide receivers are available to us. Jalen Hurts is available, but I don't really like Hurts Saquon, especially not in this format. I'll just take Malik Neighbors. I mean, he was a expected points god in his matchup, and he fell short of those expected points, but we'll grab it. I think I have a plan for this team. We'll see what comes together. We'll see what the people allow me to do. Greg says, Chad, that is big time. I will keep that in mind for our big board squads. Yeah, please do. Please do. It would mean a lot. It would mean a lot if that was able to help out a good cause. All right, let's see. So Hartman, he goes triple wide receiver. He goes Burrow Higgins. You like to see that. Of course, here you can absolutely push. Your running backs in the 6-mans. There's no problem there. I'm going to take Tyler Warren because I have a specific build in mind that involves Tyler Warren. So we'll see. Who-Hames, he snaps off Jalen Hurts. So he's just amassing good players on the team with Henry, McBride, Chase Brown, and Hurts. Go AZ Cards. He's got CD Lamb, Josh Allen, Jonathan Taylor, and Garrett Wilson. Hartman, again, triple wide receiver with Puka, BTJ, and then the Burrow Higgins stack there. So again, for those who do not play much BR, with my next pick, I will not take the quarterback I'm looking at because Go AZ Cards and Hartman already have their quarterbacks. So I will push that, and quarterback will be my last pick. That's something you always should keep in mind here. Again, Go AZ Cards. If you're Go AZ Cards, he has no reason to take a wide receiver because Hartman can't take another wide receiver. So if he's thinking receiver, he should push that. These are small things, but they are meaningful things, and they can help you avoid getting sniped if you're trying a specific build there. So let's see what is coming to us here. Let's see what Big Win does there. Hartman says Bengals Jags passing is one of my favorite targets. Yeah, absolutely. If you want to build out a bunch of BR teams with variants of that stack, I think that's a strong move. There's a lot of different parts you can do. The one thing about that is I feel like it will require like a few entries to kind of cover the various bases you're trying to cover. We'll take Cortland Sutton. So our plan here was to do a Broncos Colts game stack here. I'm also fine not doing these with the bringbacks, but we'll do a Broncos Colts stack. We'll do Bo Nix. He's not owned in all of these. He's kind of maligned. He had a very bad last week, but I think this game has potential for kind of like a sneaky points. Denver, it's all going to depend. Does Denver shut down the Colts? It's entirely possible they do. Denver's defense is obviously a lot better than Miami's defense. So it is possible this game is just kind of gross, and you want to attack this through the Denver running game rather than the Denver pass catchers. But you know what? People thought that Jets Steelers game was going to be a low scoring slog, and it was the only game that hit the over on Sunday. So you know sometimes we think a game script's going to be X and we all play it accordingly, but if it's actually Y, you can just game stack slightly differently the same game and absolutely smash or hit a game people are avoiding. So we go Nix, Gibbs, Saquon, Malik Neighbors, Cortland Sutton, Tyler Warren. Very meat and potatoes team, but we did get a little bit of a value on Gibbs and Saquon, and then we built a game stack that's not going to be hyper popular. It's not going to be like unowned completely. I think this Warren Sutton Nix thing is going to be done, but maybe we paired them differently. We got a little bit of a faller in Saquon. So, we'll see what we can see. Let's check in on what Hartman did. Hartman, after going Puka, BTJ, Higgins, Burrow, he goes Kamara, Kelsey, like that. Go AZ Cards, an interesting team. Let's see. Is it interesting? Let's see. CD Lamb, Josh Allen, Jonathan Taylor, Garrett Wilson, James Cook, Laporta. So going Allen and Cook. I don't know if I'd call that interesting. I like Allen and Cook this week. I think that's fine. I think you can do that pairing. I would rather pair Allen and Cook than Saquon and Hurts, because Allen does occasionally throw to Cook. So he throws to Cook more than Barkley gets passes. They're not totally vulturing each other at the goal line. Like, there's just going to be different times when each of them gets used. I feel like it's a little less zero-summy than maybe the Saquon Hurts stuff can be. You got Garrett Wilson. So I don't mind attacking this game a little bit differently there. So go AZ Cards. I like the squad you put together there. Hames, let's see. So he got gifted the Henry, McBride, Chase Brown star, Jalen Hurts, Devonta Pearsall. I love this team. I love Ricky Pearsall. Ricky Pearsall going undrafted in BRs is really intriguing to me as a late wide receiver that you can get most of the time. And of course, I love the Hurts Devonta stack. You're gonna see a lot more Hurts AJ Brown. I'm even fine passing AJ Brown and taking the lesser owned Devonta. So, Hames, I like the team. You did that. All right. Wait a minute. Toxic I can't comment on my personal. Am I blocked? Did Liam get to you too? I don't know why I don't even know how to check I don't even know how to block people on this. Good God. Well, first of all, Toxic Tower, thanks for coming in. I don't know why you can't comment on that. I have not actually had to, knock on wood, I've actually never banned anyone from my channel, and you certainly would not have been banned. So I'm going to have to figure out if you are there, I will free you. The Toxic Tower, the Typhal Tower has rebranded as the Toxic Tower. I could never spell Typhal Tower correctly. I always had to search one of your Twitters and get to the stream that way. It was tough. So I appreciate it. This, of course, is Emo Cowboy, PPR Tyler, and Best Ball Guy do a stream. It is fantastic. It is must watch streaming. But thanks so much for coming in. GM to you, Toxic Tower. Make sure to check in on that. Let me catch up with Chad here. Hartman saying, damn, Chad giving you step-by-step instructions to ruin my team. I don't think I did. I don't think I tried to ruin your team. I hope not, Hartman. I apologize. Hunter feels thin for 6-man draft, but I'm still going to do it. I don't think he's thin for 6-mans at all. I don't think I agree with that. I think the Bengals defense is ass, and everyone is terrified that he's going to play full-time corner, and you say play him more on defense. They might play 2 more snaps. Plus, coaches lie, as we established earlier. But yeah, thanks for the draft. I like all the teams. I like all the teams that came together in that room. Let's hop in another one here. Oops. Gosh, I hope I didn't rug everyone. All right, waiting for one. If you want to hop on in. All right, let me see. Unban YouTube chat. All right, let me see. How do I unban somebody? Oh God. This is not as easy as I thought it was. All right, give me a second. I'm gonna try to figure out why that's going on. All right. We're trying to do this on the fly. It says the draft starts in 40 minutes. So I apologize. I'm trying to figure out why it is doing that to you. Why that's going on. Boy. This is scintillating stuff here. All right, community. Oh gosh, this is not where this is. All right. I'm about to give up because I thought it was going to be somewhere and it's not. So anyway, I will free you. I will free you, Emo Cowboy, when I can. I apologize. There. Jordan says, I've hardly seen Hunter go with any regularity in Dog Bowl qualifier. Hey, Jordan, first of all, thanks so much for coming in, hanging out. I agree. I've done 44 DBQs, and I've seen him go probably around 9 or 10 times. He tends to go as a late stack with T-Law is how I've seen it played. I very rarely see him just as a one-off on his own. So that's how I've seen that done. Let's do something weird. Let's do Puka, McBride, I think this is a little bit different, completely skipping the first round. Again, nothing you do is like completely undone, but I think Puka is very, very live to be the highest scoring receiver this week. So let's do Puka McBride. The only issue with Puka is I don't like pairing him with Stafford. I'm not a Stafford guy, so it does feel weird prioritizing a wide receiver and then having stone zero interest in their quarterback. But Stafford just never gets there. He never seems to get there. Toxic Tower says, okay, YouTube may have borked my personal. Oh no, I hope not. I'll check because I think there's probably a list of banned accounts, and if for some reason that happened, I will make sure that you are free. Never mind, 63 ADP. Yeah, that means pretty heavily undrafted. An ADP of 63. I don't know what that equates to in ownership percentage, but it's way under 100 because I think he's in that range where that means you're not taken every time. Hartman, you gave AZ Cards a strategy to push a guy past. Oh. Well, it wasn't specifically for AZ Cards, Hartman. It was for the people who are new to the VR streets. I apologize. That is the occupational hazard of coming into one of these streams. I say what I'm gonna do. So if you're in here, like, I'm gonna say what I think you're gonna do too. So I apologize if I think Hartman. I think AZ Cards is experienced enough to know that, though. Feels like 200 subs is right there for the taking. Hey, Chris. Thank you for mentioning that. If folks, if you haven't liked and subbed, we're so close. We're trying to get to 200. I'll be so happy to get there. It's been a long road, but it's been a fun road. So I'm just excited to be getting close. I think we're if it's today, that would be awesome. If it's next week, it will be next week. But either way, we're gonna get there. And the sky's the limit. We're all hanging out. This has been so much fun. And let's see what we can pair with Puka and McBride. What do we want to do? I don't think I want to do Kyron. I think Kyron's getting a little too cute for me. I'm just thinking what I want to do here. Maybe we do Jonathan Taylor and what wide receiver do we want? Let's do JSN. Let's do Taylor JSN. JSN, of course, really was showing some like wide receiver 1 level usage. I believe he had like 13 of 16 targets or something. Like let me pull up the hold on. Seahawks. Sorry, I'm struggling here. I got excited about 200 subs and now I'm falling apart here. So let's see. The Seahawks threw the ball 23 times. JSN had 9 receptions. And of course, I'm missing how many targets he had. This is a long way of saying that JSN was really getting a wide receiver 1. Yeah, he had 13 targets of the 23 pass attempts, which is absolutely bonkers. Over 50% target share in that game. He really is the alpha there in Seattle. So I am more than happy to take some of him. It's a little bit of a gross game environment, but I am willing to see the vision there. All right. Huaim says, anyone know what the numbers from the BBO Battle Royale thing? Huaim, I am not sure what you're referring to. I'm struggling here. I'm trying to figure out what I want. Okay, I'm taking Chuba Hubbard, and I'll take Kyler. I did an awful job in this BR of like saying what the heck I'm doing here, but we end up with Kyler, Jonathan Taylor, Chuba Hubbard, Puka Nacua, JSN, Trey McBride. Pretty meat and potatoes team here. Didn't do anything crazy. Chuba Hubbard's a little bit of a scroll. The issue is of course Chuba Hubbard probably will be paired with Kyler and McBride, or Kyler and BTJ quite a bit. So that's that is something to keep in mind when you do those deep scrolls, but they are correlated pieces that you may not be scrolling quite as deep as you think. That said, I do like the team. I think there won't be a lot of teams that go Puka and then McBride from the 6 hole. I think most people are going to be taking one of this range up to Saquon or then an elite quarterback. I think this will be slightly less done. Toxic Tower. Actually, no, I think I'm blocked. I'll find your mods. I don't even have any mods. I just don't know how this happened. Who Hames said, I haven't seen a single team take Swift in a BR style contest. Yeah, he's been a DBQ scroll. He's been a DBQ scroll and not really. I don't think I've seen him go in a main BR. GM Skeletor, thanks for coming in. Appreciate it. Chris says, if I happen to get picked for the Bash and Pete stream, I'm giving my shot to Chad Candles to help goal. You do not need to do that, Chris. I do appreciate it. I don't want Pete thinking that I'm infiltrating his stuff. But no, Chris, that means a lot. Thank you so much. I actually had a chance. I got called up on Pete's stream on the Bash, on the one where he did 6 of us to do a BBM. It was super fun, and I was the last guest, so I got to hang on a little bit after and talk to him, which was awesome. It was pretty cool. It was right before he ended up going on with Jacob, and then I think his next thing was like the YouTube thing. So I'm like, you know what? I'm like 2 degrees of separation from being on YouTube. That's what I'm telling myself. But no, truly, Chris, I appreciate it. And Pete, it is cool that Pete does that and brings guests on. It is a fun format that he brings people on and is able to just like naturally talk to someone he's like never had a conversation with. Who even is the wide receiver 2? Asks Jordan, throwing out some suggestions. Horton, Cup, Yikes. I think Yikes is the wide receiver 4, but he's might be better than Cup. He's a little less washed, but truly, I have a lot of Cooper Cup, and it looks like the Rams let him go for a reason here. FK Coors, it's absolutely Cup, but also Yikes. Yeah. It is grim. It is grim. Hartman asks, what is the square root of the Philadelphia bye? Oh my gosh. Yeah, I was supposed to be on Best Ball Jeopardy, but then I had a family medical emergency and could not go. And I would have struggled on bye week math. I would have massively struggled. I would have embarrassed myself. I cannot do those equations in their head, and they're not easy. Like if you do them out, it's like, what is like 19 times like 32? I'm like, I don't know. You give me a pencil and paper, I could bang it out, but I'm not coming up with that in my head. Like it's not like, oh, the bye week's 9. What's the square root? It's 3. The questions were like, the numbers get big. The numbers got big. Yeah, I'm with you there. Hartman says, Chad, it's the Google Accounts tab, and then you go to people and sharing, and you can see blocked users. All right, let me see. I just don't know why that would happen, because I never... All right, it's in Google Account tab, then you go to people and sharing. Dear God. All right, hold on. Go to your Google, the dots on the right side of your browser. All right, hold on. I want to unban. I want to make sure that I this is brutal. Why is this not? Hold on. It doesn't look like the it doesn't look like the screen. All right. I'm trying to figure this out. This is the worst video I've ever seen. They're like, click on this, and you can't actually see what they're clicking on. All right, hold on. Dear God. I'm like, okay. Manage your Google. Okay. Got it. All right. Why does this not look like... Why do I not see people in sharing? This is my problem here. I don't see people in sharing where I'm supposed to see. All right, I'm going to have to do this after. I apologize. I am struggling here. AZ Cards, I flunked out of math. Don't bully me, please. Yeah. If Best Ball Jeopardy was the only name in the stack and player ADPs, I'd crush it. Yeah, I could have hung in there, but some of the stuff is absolutely brutal. Go to settings first and then people and sharing. Oh my God. All right, hold on. All right, I'm going to give this one more go. I'm going to give this one more shot. why? Dear God, I can't even find people in sharing. That's why I feel like an idiot. People in sharing. Okay, I have people in sharing. One blocked user. It's not you. It's someone named Ryan Haas. I don't even know who Ryan Haas is. Ryan, if you're out there, I'm gonna free you. I am gonna free you here. Apologize if I blew up your spot, emo cowboy. If you're secretly Ryan Haas and I doxed you, but I don't think that's I don't think that was you. So I don't know what's going on. Yeah, what did Ryan do? Free Ryan. People are saying. All right. Well, let me hop in another BR because people did not come over here to see tech support. Also, wait, hold on. Is someone going live now? Did I miss that? Hold on. I can't remember. I can't remember if I had an out at no. Davis is live in 30 minutes. So let's do another BR here. Let's do another BR. Free Ryan Haas. Free Ryan. Ryan didn't build, interestingly. Yeah. I don't know who Ryan Haas is, but I'm willing to amnesty them today. We'll see. My arch nemesis. No, I promise you, Tyler, I did what the instruction said, and you were not there. You were not there. FK Coors has 200 plus blocked users. Must be from the Pete and Liam streams. Yikes! You see, I have a light touch with the ban hammer, but I'm gonna have to figure out why Tyler is not showing in my chat. So again, I apologize for that. All right. So we're here in the 5-hole. I don't think anyone made it in. So I don't like this because now I can't sandbag people. I can't say how we're going to sabotage Hartman's team. I can't, give away Huhaim's tendencies. So I'm kind of at a loss here, but we'll try to make it interesting. Maybe we can get Ryan in here on stage. We can have the great the fence menting with him. But yep, we're coming up. Let's see, when is this? What's going on? Where's the timer? All right, no, there is no timer because the draft has begun, and there goes CMC. Oh no! Oh, go easy cards. I'm in the overflow in the 4. I will dupe your team. Please pick quickly. Coolers is the opera of blocking people. Yeah, FK Coolers is he's like Dikembe Mutombo, just windmill, slamming on people, throwing them out, giving them the finger wag, blocking them. But yeah, we'll let's see what we can do from the 5. Let's see if we can get Go AZ Cards to copy us. Would have been an epic time for Ryan to show in this PR. I do not know. I do not even remember blocking anybody, let alone Ryan Haas. All right, so we're up. Let's see what we want to do. Let's do another Puka team. So we'll take Puka at the 5. And again, we'll pass on this elite range. I'm going to end up doing probably about 75 BRs. So I don't want to only build with the top 6. I want some lineups where I just don't have any of them in case that pays off. Could be bad. I don't want to do this a lot. I don't think like fading. The ADPs are pretty good. The projections are pretty high. Saquon goes, let's forego that range. Let's take Chase Brown. So let's go Puka Chase Brown. Again, I think this is a start. Won't be super common, but if Chase Brown ends up outscoring these running backs and Puka's the 101, then we're literally like have a very low owned combination that could be what we need to win this contest. Again, don't build everything like this. There's a reason that CMC, Henry, Saquon, Gibbs are at the top. They project the best. The market has said as such, but occasionally, Okay, Coors hit the block button. Yeah. I don't even want to know. I don't even want to know what terrible things people are saying to poor FK Coolers to warrant that to warrant that blocks, but whatever they are. Yeah, very tough stuff. Very tough stuff there. All right, so I'm unable to see Go AZ Cards' screen to know if he is able to keep pace with the madness taking place in this particular room. So we got Chase and Puka. What do we want to do here? Now that we've gotten weird, Now that we've gotten kind of weird, let's do MHJ. Let's do MHJ on this team. We don't have to get super far afield now with our build. We've gotten unique enough. I think if you do this, you can still scroll. You probably should still scroll, but I don't feel like I have to now go into deep into Narnia to take different players to get different. This certainly is a candidate to be a Jalen Hurts team. Again, if we go on the thesis of, we've taken what we think are going to be the two highest scorers in Puka and Chase Brown, Jalen Hurts definitely projects as an elite scorer in his matchup. That said, I'm pretty into Breece Hall. I think that's a lot of fun. I think he's going to be kind of a low owned piece in DraftKings. He's not going to be 100% owned in the BRs, but I do like him quite a bit. This probably is going to project to be a Kyler team. Normally I would have said I should take Kyler first, but the McBride drafter is to my right. So if one of these people takes naked Kyler, that's just odd. I don't know why you would do that. I'll just do something else in that case, but that's kind of my thought process there. If Jalen Hurts makes it back to us, do we just take naked Hurts? Do we take Hurts and no, Goddard's Hurts. We can't do Hurts and Goddard. So interesting stuff there. All right, go AZ cards. Lamar Henry couldn't pass, so no dupe. In all seriousness, go AZ cards. That is a good thing to keep in mind. Not that when you're copying another lineup, but if you have a lineup in your head and you're like, I'm going to do a JSN Darnold team, and then somehow like Malik Neighbors is in the 5th, like just take Malik Neighbors. You can always do your JSN Darnold team. If you get some big faller, don't have it in your head, I'm going to do this draft. Take what the room gives you and then table your idea. I'm not saying and then never do the idea you have, but don't ignore big falling value just to hammer in an idea you had. Is this a case where I'm okay, I'm going to take Kyler and then I'm passing on a Jalen Hurts that I probably should be taking? Maybe. Hurts here is pretty intriguing. We're starting to get to that point. I do really like Kyler. I'm glad that person took him, so I didn't have to make that choice. I think I just take Hurts here. Tyler Warren, though. Yeah, let's just take Kyler because this is the McBride drafter, so he's super live to take Kyler from me. He'll probably just take Joe Burrow now. Maybe he would have taken Joe Burrow anyway, but it wouldn't have made sense for me to try to get cute. I do like Tyler Warren. I'd probably prefer him to the other options. I'm also more than happy to just make the fan and bet. This guy, I think he has to take a wide receiver, so we can take Tyler Warren with our last pick. I think this is kind of a fun team. I don't think it'll be duped, but really because we did the Chase Brown Puka thing, I think that's going to be rare enough. And then McBride's a little bit of a scroll, so not too bad there. I can pull the board up if anyone wants to see how anyone else is landing their respective airplanes. Skeletor asks, any more DBQ for you? What time is it? I'll probably just run a couple BRs before we get out of here. That probably Skeletor. I think I did two DBQs. Yeah, I opened with one and then I did another one after. So probably just two on this stream. I'm going to get to 50. So how many dog bowls do I have left to get there? I have 7 left. I'm not going to force in 7 more. 50 is my cap. I don't want to do more than that. I've already week to week, I really only want to be doing 25 dog bowls, but I kind of got caught up this week, to be candid with you guys. I don't want to get to the point where I feel like if I don't make the dog bowl, by the way, I just hopped in a BR waiting for one. I don't want to feel like if I don't make the dog bowl, I've chased and lost way more money than I'm comfortable losing. I don't want to get to week 8 and be like, if I don't make the dog bowl, I'm underwater. And now if I make the dog bowl, I got to finish 10th or I'm losing money on this. I don't want to feel like that. The dog bowl is a goal of mine, but I don't want it to become a stressor. That's kind of where I'm at there. I'm going to rewind and watch those. Yeah, there's 2. I really should do timestamps now that it's not just BRs. Like I think some people really do want the Dog Bowl content. There's not a ton of, there are some people streaming Dog Bowls, but not a lot. So if you do want Dog Bowl stuff, there are really good, Mathology yesterday. He was on the Flannelverse. They did a Dog Bowl there. The Badge Bros, they do a Dog Bowl or two. I had to leave Pete's stream about halfway through, so I don't know if he did a Dog Bowl on the Bash or if he just ended up doing BRs. It was kind of a hectic time of day, so I had to log off there. If you're looking for some Dog Bowl content, Davis, he'll run a Dog Bowl or two throughout his streams, and he's really good at time stamping, so you can check those out as well. Apologies if I missed any other Dog Bowl people. Feel free to let me know, and I will happily shout you out there. All right. Coolers asked them to cool it, and they ran too hot for the Coolers. FK Coolers, I should just unblock everyone to see what the chats look like. Yeah, it's just madness. It just turns to utter chaos. Go Easy Cards. Lamar, Henry, Connor, BTJ, DK Andrews. Interested. I like your team. Although, yeah, no, I like the team. I like the team. All right, let's see what we want to do. All right, we just got a little squirrely the last few drafts. Let's just take a CD Lamb share. I don't want to like forego the entire first round in all my drafts. Just mix those in. Huam says, if the Dog Bowl wasn't in Kansas City, I wouldn't do any. Yeah, I'd love to get to Kansas City. I mean, I'm out here in Baltimore. I'd love an excuse to get to KC. I've only been to Kansas City once, and I didn't even get to explore the city. I just went to a Chiefs game, pretty much I was living in St. Louis and headed on back there. So we got CD Lamb. I think this is going to be an elite QB team. Let's just see if it's an Allen or Lamar team. All right, we'll do a Lamar. We'll do Lamar Lamb. That seems like fun. Dirty P, if I knew the spelling of Ryan's surname, I would have made a few fake Ryan accounts and spit venom at you until you banned me. Oh my God, that would have been the funniest bit. It's like, finally, I've been waiting. Chad, you jerk. just laid into me for some instance I forgot about. Who Aims doesn't fly. Weird for an owl. Well, yeah. That's. I'm glad they did it in Kansas City. I feel like a lot of the time these events are in like sunny tropical or sunny desert locations, and the Midwest gets no love. So I'm excited. That's gonna be really cool. I don't like Kyron, but Kyron's so annoying. He can get like 22 of the most boring fantasy points you'll ever see in your life and just show up in one of these lineups. So I don't want to have no Kyron. He's fine. He's just such an you watch him and all you're hoping for is like that Puka gets tackled at the 4 and then Kyron like scores. Like it is so gross. It is such a gross watch. Waiting for Kyron to do something, but he just like always does. So we'll take Kyron on this team. We're likely to use Zay Flowers. I don't think I'm going to get too far afield with the running back, or excuse me, with the receiver. I'll probably scroll for a running back on this team is how I'm going to play this one. We've got Lamar, Kyron, and CD Lamb. So probably just take Zay Flowers here. Could we do a 3 wide receiver build to get different? Sure, but I do like some of the scroll down options. I think I've got one in mind I want to do on this team. I'll tell you guys, there's none of you in the room. I think I'll take a Travion share. I'm kind of into the idea that he could kind of be really good this week. Like we could be buying Pook or A-Chain, 2023 A-Chain a week early. And that would be pretty fun. So I'll queue that up. He's going to be unowned in a lot of these. He's also going to be paired with like Tyreek in a lot of these. So I don't mind him as kind of a one-off where I haven't done anything weird. Hopefully we get Fan, and I'll be kind of irritated if I don't. Okay. Because I do love the Fan and bet, and I think he's, again, I'm not a big bring back bro, but I think he makes sense on this team. This guy needs a tight end. Okay, good. I misread the board for a second. So we'll take Travion on this team. All right. Dirty P, interesting, a limb team. Sorry, it won't see week 3. The trash talk has begun. Who aims in Skeletor style slams? Asked Who aims. I'm not familiar with that styling. All right, so we're coming up. We'll see if I did not think that Redding Cooper was going to take Travion from me. I'll take Travion. I'll pull the board up. We'll shout out anything we see that's particularly interesting. Naked Fields, a little interesting. I wonder if this guy thought he'd get Joe Burrow. Joe Burrow went naked, pick 20. This guy probably thought he was going to get Joe Burrow, but T. Higgins wasn't off the board. So if T. Higgins isn't off the board, the Jamar Chase drafter, so it's a little weird to have Chase and Brown and not have Burrow. Feels pretty thin. Feels like you're telling yourself a pretty thin story. I don't mind Jamar Fields though. There is a world where Chase and Chase Brown get there and Fields outscores Burrow. So I see the vision. It's not what I would necessarily do, but I don't hate going elite QB over the quarterback in like a double, knowing that the elite QB or rushing QB can outscore him. That said, the big BR is not the place for me. I have trouble with that. I think this is like a cute thing you could do in like a 3 max or a single entry kind of thing, kind of a DraftKings-y kind of play more than the BR. That's just kind of my thought looking at that. Let's fire another one. Well, again, we're going to get out of here. We'll seed the road at 10:30 to Davis. He's going to be going live. We're waiting for 5. So if you want to get in, you have no excuses. You have plenty of time to getting in there. Dirty P asked, you mean like Masters of the Universe Skeletor or drinking bleach Skeletor? Asked Dirty P. To Who Hames. All right. Let's see what we can see. Waiting for one. Again, if you can, before we get out of here, if you can like and sub, we're on the road to 200, and then the road, of course, will continue on. We got a friends and family room. Excellent. We've got Hartman, we've got Who Hames, and we've got myself at the 6. So let's see what we can do. Let's see if we want to get a little weird, if we want to just keep this close to ADP. These BRs are super fun. They're super fun because if you have an idea in your head and you fail, like you can just fire up another one and try it. Like with these BRs, it feels like in BBM, if you have an idea and then you get like randomly sniped, it can be super frustrating because then it's a 45-minute or a 40-minute draft. It's $25. You only have 150. Like these, it's a lot less of a time and money sink. Plus, you're so flexible. Like you're so flexible in this versus BBM where you might really only have 1 or 2 quarterbacks that make reasonable stacks, and now you're back stacking, which is fine and can work and but it's like it's not quite the same. Like here, if you get sniped on a stack, you can literally just like back stack some other stack, and it actually might be good and less owned. Like you might get diverted into something good there. Hartman, Who Aims could use Chad's patented strategy of bullying the corner. Yeah, I certainly have not patented that. It is a thing, but it is, if people tune into these and they're not familiar, I do like to shout out the BR strategies that people can work in that are kind of evergreen. They're not like, oh, I like this player and that player. It's like, no, you should pay attention to the position limits there. All right, Gibbs came around. I'm gonna do another Puka Chase Brown. I know I did this before. I kind of want another crack at this particular build. So we'll do Puka Brown. We'll see if we can. And this is not, of course, not because I like Who Hames and want to give him Trey McBride, but I do want some of these Puka Brown teams. I think this is kind of a fun start that's worthy of being a round 1. A couple guys definitely honorable mention for being round 1. Who Aims passes on McBride, taking Lamar Jackson. Hartman, another friend of the program, does he go elite tight end or does he have something else in mind? The other thing about McBride is like he might not be who you need. Like if he might not really separate. It's very interesting that we take him in the 2nd round and then pretty much you don't need to take another one till round 6. It's a very fun slate. Like you have to decide. That's like your first immediate decision point is, do I want McBride? And then if I want McBride, do I want anything to do with that game that people are excited about? There's a lot of decision points in this one, and who's to say which is the way to go. Hartman takes BTJ. Very interesting there from Hartman. I would be lying if I said I had not considered. I would absolutely have taken BTJ there. So now I have to pivot with my kind of initial plan. Maybe we just go. Yeah, I'm just gonna double tap this Fields Wilson combo. I think this is fine. I like Fields Wilson. That could be really really powerful this week. So we'll get those guys in to the team. We'll see what the room hands to us at other positions. I would have probably had BTJ fallen, which he will sometimes come back to this spot. I was thinking of doing a T-Law team, but I'm going to pivot from that. I also was thinking I could have done T-Law Travis Hunter. I was thinking T-Law Travis Hunter with 30-31, but with Hartman taking BTJ, meaning BTJ was not on an elite QB team, I had to worry that Hartman was going to take T-Law at pick 26. And so I did not want to run into that circumstance, which is kind of what led me to that. I'm not saying Hartman specifically. I'm just saying, anyone in the 2-hole, I would have had that thought, not like, oh, Hartman's going to like try to screw me. Just my thought process there. Obviously more likely to pair Burrow with Chase, but some people want to get different with Chase. Chase is going to be with Burrow an awful lot. Some people want that different. I find there no problem going with that either way. As you can see here, remember Huhames, he stacked Hurts with AJ Brown. Hurts with Devonta. I think Hurts is going to be with AJ Brown far more with Devonta. And frankly, they're kind of a coin flip to who does more. So, all right, let's see. I missed a couple things. We'll run this, then we'll run one more, and we'll get on out of here. All right, go AZ cards. I'm running an 8-legger, taking the overs on main guys. I dare you to beat me. Who is taking 6 Dolphins? Oh my God. I want to be at 40 to 50% McBride, not over. That's a lot of McBride. That is a lot of McBride there. So yeah, I don't think I'd want to get over the field on that. So good news is I did get James Cook. I wanted James Cook there. I mean, Jonathan Taylor here is intriguing. Now the question is of what tight end do we want? What tight end do we want? I think let's do Brenton Strange again. He's going to be with Chase Brown a little more than maybe we care to see, but I don't want only Fannin. I don't only want to make the Fannin bet. I do like Brenton Strange a lot. I'm mixing him in late. So our team ends up being Fields, Chase Brown, James Cook, Puka Nacua, Garrett Wilson, and Brenton Strange. Let me catch up with chat, and then we'll fire up another one, and we will get on out of here. Go AZ Cards, hot take Laporta, top main slate tight end. Absolutely live to be. I haven't been taking much Laporta. Maybe I should. Hartman, if I'm in the room, T-Law is safe. That's evergreen. Okay, yeah. Again, this was more of a general 2-hole thing. I think BBM is DB is wrong. I looked at all my live 1v1s to not see a Dirty P matchup. Uh-oh. Controversy. Dirty P seems to think you guys are playing each other. So that'd be funny if they were making up matchups. All right, so Huhames goes Lamb, Jackson, Amon-Ra, James Conner, Alvin Kamara, Harold Fannin. Love the team. Hartman goes Chase, McBride, BTJ Burrow, Breece Hall, Ted McMillan. No notes on both of you guys' teams. I think those are good. I don't even have to couch it as interesting. I think they're good. One last BR for the road, waiting for 4. We're going to do this. Then we're going to get on out of here. Go AZ Cards. Charles, I'm in with you on Laporta. It's the mustache man. Dude's looking elite. Yeah, I mean, I think that could be. I think that could be pretty strong. I really do. We forget how good Laporta could be. We're all kind of down on Detroit, but Detroit has been a different animal at home. Detroit has a longer week of rest than Chicago. I think Laporta is super live. Go AZ Cards is on board with that. Hartman, I looked up Dirty P and see the matchup, so don't worry. The Dirty P Go AZ Cards match is back on. So we got Huhames at the 1, Go AZ Cards at the 4. We got me at the 5. We have a vulgar name at the 6. Again, some things will just slip on past the Underdog censors, but we are not the thought police on this channel. But it is funny sometimes to see what can make it on through the automatic AI filters, or what the level of tolerance that the Underdog community has. Greg says, I think the new not so fun, boring offense is great for Laporta, bad for everyone else. I have a lot of JMO, Greg. I got a lot of JMO that I'm hoping it is not a not so fun, boring offense. I need this offense to be fun. I need fun in my life. Who takes CMC at the 1. All right, let's see what we can see. Let's see what we can see here. Do we take Lamb? Do we take Gibbs? Do we take Saquon? Let's see what Go AZ Cards does. Go AZ Cards thinking about it. He takes. I was about to take Gibbs. I'll take Lamb. That's okay. I like Gibbs a lot. I'm pretty into Gibbs. So I saw Gibbs just vaporize from my queue there. It does not say Busta Rhymes. It does not say Busta Rhymes. But we'll call him Busta Rhymes. Busta Rhymes takes Lamar Jackson. I was expecting to get Jackson for some weird reason, so I have to come up with a new plan. Maybe we go Lamb Neighbors. We just play this kind of straight up here. Again, I wish like Jackson Dart was starting because it would be so fun to be able to sprinkle in Dart teams. We're going to pass on the elite tier of running back and scroll a little bit for RB. Yes, there will be Lamb Neighbors teams. This is not going to be unique at all. This will actually be probably a pretty common game stack, but we're going to be arrogant enough to think we can come up with the plutonic ideal of a Wilson Neighbors game stack. So let's see. Our duels, he's winding the clock. He takes Saquon, so he gets Henry Saquon. That's kind of a fun beginning to a team. Team Money Time takes McBride. Who Hames almost got McBride, but we don't know if he would have taken him there. Let's see who he pairs with. CMC. Josh Allen. Makes sense. Josh Allen, darn good play himself. So I think for us, I kind of have an idea of what I want to do to get different with this particular team. A-Chain, like the pick there. So Who Ames goes CMC, Allen, A-Chain. What does T Money Time? He takes Jalen Hurts. So the Jamar Chase drafter will not be taking Joe Burrow in this particular room, opening the Higgins Burrow stack to those who are trying to get to that. BTJ going. Let's see what Go AZ Cards does. He takes Amon-Ra. We are going to get weird, and we are going to scroll for one Ricardo Pearsall. I don't actually know what Ricky Pearsall's name is, but I don't think it's Ricardo. We're going to take Ricky Pearsall there. So we're going to start with 3 wide receivers. Don't do a lot of 3 wide receiver teams. All right, if Jonathan Taylor is going to come, let's just do Jonathan Taylor on this team. I think he's pretty fun. Maybe should I have taken Dak just in case anyone gets squirrely? It's fine. If we don't get Dak, then we'll just do something else. So we'll do Ricky Pearsall. I think that's kind of fun. Let me catch up with chat because we're gonna get right out of here as soon as this ends and make way for Mr. Matic coming on. Jake says my predictions for this weekend: Burrow 4 passing touchdowns, Juwan over Fana, JSN down week. All right, I can't say I hope this happens, but I will remember if it does. Mr. Vinegar. Greg says, who Ames? I take 6 Dolphins, hit a few dollars on fire with the mega New England Miami shootout bounce back game. It could happen. Miami's been part of shootouts previously. Who Ames says, good luck, Greg. Good luck. Who Ames? Greg saying he's just a masochist. Goal is to get one final interesting team. Go AZ Cards has he's got Gibbs, he's got Puka, he's got Amon-Ra, Rome Odunze. This is an interesting team, but I like it. Big game stack. That's tough to pull off in the main BR, but I do not mind it. Let's see what he does at quarterback if he makes it truly interesting. But no, I like what you're doing there. Go AZ Cards. So Joe Burrow goes to the Higgins drafter there. I don't need to take a quarterback here. I need a tight end. All right, guys. We all talked about Sam Laporta. You guys, Sam Laporta pilled me. Let's do Sammy Laporta on this team. And then we're going to take Dak Prescott. And we are going to get out of here right on time at 10:30. All right. Who Aim says, I watch Love miss Golden on 2 touchdown throws and double down for another touchdown bet on Golden second half. Oh, brutal run out there. Almost as brutal as Buster not pushing the plane once he queued up his 2 picks and making the room wait a full minute. But that is, you don't become Buster Rhymes by being considerate of other people's time. Unfortunately, you do not. So we will see what he does. We will make our pick and we will skedaddle here. I'll stick around to see what Go AZ Cards and Who Hames does, but you got to push the plane. We'll take Dak here. So we get Dak, JT, CD Lamb, Malik Neighbors, Ricky Pearsall, Sam Laporta. We're getting a little bit different 3 wide receiver set. Go AZ Cards. He takes Cole Kmet. Oh my God, Cole Kmet, Caleb Williams, Romo Dunze, Amon-Ra, Puka, Gibbs. Hey, if that game is 52-50, you have the nuts. The furthest scroll this morning. Well, again, thank you all so much. If you can, on your way out, like and sub. We'll see who aims. He's got CMC, Allen, A-Chain, Garrett Wilson, Keon Coleman, Brenton Strange. That'll do it. I'll see you all tomorrow. Same great time, same great channel. Thanks, everyone, for hanging out.